Welcome to Good Dates Gone Bad. I'm your host, Lee, and this is my guest.
Art. So
Thanks for
nice
being
to
on the
meet you.
show, Art. So he's going to tell us one of his bad dates, and then he's going to first tell us, of course, what is a good date. What do you think is a good date?
I think a good date is, when you meet somebody and you've got that connection, instant connection, but you've also got that intrigue where you want to know more about them. And you guys kind of have that same path where I always think it's interesting to know where somebody wants to go in their life in terms of career, in terms of relationship, what their love languages are, and just know you guys are going in the same path.
Sure.
So I think that's important, and I think that's something that you guys can build on.
Well, it doesn't matter what activity you do. You just want to be able to learn those things.
Yeah, I think you have to have some things in common, but I also think you have to meet somebody who can also bring up your weaknesses and make you better. And then as a team, you guys are stronger together than individually.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So if you can find that person that you can obviously carry on a conversation with, have some common interests, but can also make each other better, and you're going in the same direction. And I think, love languages are important as well. So
Sure.
if you have the similar love languages, I think that's very important. So
Okay. What are some things that you like to do on a date?
I think for me, you can have your normal dates and you can go to your restaurants and have a drink and stuff like that, and that's fine. But I also think, like, if you do something, it could be an adventure date. And then you obviously have to be careful. But if you went to Kennesaw Mountain and hike Kennesaw Mountain, you play Top Golf, you play pickleball. I've gone on a first date, so a workout, a CrossFit. So it's just something different. You see somebody maybe out of their element.
Sure.
So
Kind of test their ability or see what they're interested in other than, everybody likes to eat and drink,
100%.
That's easy.
Because a lot of people, could have a facade or they have their normal spiel, but this puts them out of their element.
It
and you kind of
does.
see the raw, real, vulnerable state of people.
What's the name of that show where they compete? It's that thing where they compete and they do all the different things they have to find and do all these different things. They have to find the list of the next direction.
Oh, like an Amazing Race or
Yeah,
something
the
like
Amazing
that.
Race.
Yeah.
That would be cool. You always see the older couples, but then sometimes you see younger couples and you see how they interact and they're stressed and they're like,
Yeah,
you made
for
me
sure.
mess up, you screwed that up.
Yeah,
And it's like,
under pressure, how somebody
Yeah.
respond. Like
Yeah.
you either grow stronger and you become a team, or you're divided. So, even an escape room would be.
That's a good
interesting
idea.
way.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, because you're not gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like Saw where your face is like attached to this thing and you're like, how are we
Sure.
gonna work together to get
Yeah, absolutely.
I personally would panic first.
Yeah, and you're under video surveillance, so you're good there.
Totally. Okay, so now, so what's a bad date?
For me, I guess a couple things. Like, if you meet somebody, if you can't build that rapport, obviously that's an issue. If you don't have the same goals, where you want to go direction A and they want to go direction B, I get that sometimes you can go to the same direction and get there in different ways, but you still have to have the same common goal.
Yeah.
So I think just that's important to be on the same page with things. Communication's vital. Like, I think if you're going to talk to somebody, if you're going to build a relationship, it's got to be somebody that you can communicate with and have that constant communication throughout the day. If it's text, if it's, calling or whatever, I just think you have to be on the same page with that person, because you don't
Just that touch base. Well, good morning, good night, have a conversation.
100%. Because if you don't, then they're wondering, and then stuff can be misconstrued, and then it's...
Well, especially from your past relationships, if you have someone that's got that insecurity level that you feel like you're constantly catering to.
Sure.
Now that can be exhausting.
It can be like if you have
If
somebody...
you're not feeling that way and you feel like, I got to touch base and make sure that they feel confident today
Sure,
about
if you have
my
somebody...
caring for them.
Yeah, with an anxious attachment. But then you may have somebody who has like an avoidant attachment. Obviously you would love to have somebody with a secure attachment, but it's just finding
I think that's the goal.
That is the goal, but there's never a perfect situation, but it's just trying to have that communication with that person, what makes them feel valued, and maybe it is a good morning, good night. I do think when you don't communicate, it just creates an avenue for mistrust. It creates an avenue for
Yeah.
misinterpretation.
Sure.
So I know when I've talked to people who've been married or in long-term relationships, the one commonality is communication.
Well, they say that couples that argue over things the most is finances and sex.
Uh-huh.
That those are the two things that they argue the most about.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because especially if one is encouraged not to work to take care of the children, well, is she out there spending the money?
Yeah.
Or is she bringing any money into the table at all and paying for anything? Vice versa. If she's the one out there working and is he spending the money?
Correct.
Is he contributing in any way? Even if there's got to be that even contribution. At
They
least
don't
you
feel
want to
balanced,
feel like
yeah.
there's a balance, whatever it is. And then also about sex. Are you having any sex? Are you having sex with other people?
Yeah,
Are you having
yeah.
sex with only yourself? Sorry for the people who don't hear this. But these are true. These are all
Sure.
real relationship things.
Yeah.
So you want to feel validated in all of your efforts, right?
Yes.
And so do they. And it's such a hard line to walk sometimes, because you do, especially if you feel like you're living your best life and you're being the best person you can be in your relationship. Do you feel like they are too? And I think that's any relationship that you have, whether you're just dating or you're married, you have that connection on all those levels. You feel like, are they giving to me what I'm giving to them? And that can cause a lot of anxiety too.
Yeah, you can have some animosity there, and
Yes.
I think having as much balance as you can is important. I also think you have to be raw and vulnerable, because if something bothers you, just say it. Don't hold it in, because then it's just going to get built up and you're going to have
It
that
only
resentment.
hurts you when you don't say it.
100%.
Right?
And they may not even know. And maybe when you do let them know, they're like, hey, I appreciate you letting me know. I do want to find a compromise, or I do want to,
Yeah.
Exactly. Meet you in the
Being
middle on
willing to
that.
bend and
Sure.
put yourself out there. So now we're not going to be so serious. Okay, now you've got a really funny story that you were starting to tell me, but I just cut him down. I had to cut him off because I didn't want to hear it. I wanted it to be the first time I heard it. So
Yeah. It's a funny dating story. So this is an international dating story. I was down in Costa Rica. We were importing and exporting ropa americana, which is used American clothing.
And how long ago was this?
This was a while ago. This was over 10 years ago.
Okay.
So basically, we were bringing clothing from San Francisco down to Costa Rica. We had an investor. He was probably in his mid to late 70s, married gentleman, very quiet, unassuming. So go down to Costa Rica with him. We're setting up the infrastructure to distribute this clothing throughout the country from the ports. We get a driver down there who I'm Paquito, so I'm not fully bilingual.
Yeah.
So we had a driver.
But may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Because normally we get clothing exported, like American businesses get foreign countries like Vietnam to make the clothes and send it up here to sell.
Sure.
It's usually not the opposite, correct?
Yes, this is.
So he's out of California.
So he was from this area, but we were getting the donations from California because there were more name brand clothing. That's used clothing that people donate.
So they found a retail store there. They were going to sell the brand there, because I know a lot of Americans travel to Costa Rica. They just wanted it to be present there.
Yeah, so basically what would happen is they would take used clothing, and California's more high-end clothing, and they would take those clothing donations, either work with a charity or be considered recycling.
Okay.
And they would send it down to Costa Rica to mom and pop shops down there, but they were getting used clothing with name brands, so that was valuable to them.
That's nice. Oh, yeah, totally.
So
Yes.
So it was a win-win situation. Sure. So that's how the business model
That's cool.
evolved. So this is my first trip down there. We're basically setting up the distribution channels.
I feel like it's already going to be funny.
Where this is a business lecture as well. So bringing in bales of clothing into different stores throughout the country, mom and pop stores. So we're down there setting the distribution channels. We meet with the driver who's driving us all around the country, helping us with the language. And we'd also met with a realtor down there, and she was super nice. She was from Germany, and she had a beach house in this area called Jaco, but it starts with a J. It's pronounced differently. It's Jaco. So
Yep.
she's like, if you want to go out there and check out some things and check out distribution channels, you can stay at my house. And she's like, I just like champagne. So we bought her some champagne, as a thank you for letting us stay there.
Yeah.
So we take the trip out to Jaco. Some interesting things is like, I remember one of the bridges, you go out there and it's like, okay, the bridge is made out of rope. So, so the drive.
There's a car?
We're driving, but the bridge is a rope suspension.
I would have been very nervous. I like now bridges in general do not make me nervous, but if you really look over and look down, it's kind of trippy. And if you're on a rope suspension bridge in Costa Rica, you feel like it's like romancing the stone, right?
For sure. But they have big crocodiles at the bottom.
Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. But these
I would
bridges.
not like that.
Yeah. And what makes it a little bit more intimidating is when you look down, there's like 10, 12-foot crocodiles in the river.
That's what I'm saying. That's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's an adventure. So we would have to stop the car.
So now how big was the car? Was it like one of those little, like a
it was a little van.
Like a Renault?
It was just like a little van, a little shuttle van. So we could fit, I don't remember, 6-8 people.
That's not little.
Yeah, well, little for a van.
It's like a transit.
Well, for sure. So it weighed more than a typical
I'm
car.
already dying.
And so we had to get out of the vehicle and walk across the bridge to reduce the weight.
Yes, you would. I would. Yes.
So we did that. Added to the adventure, the appeal of the trip. I've heard stories since that one time somebody did take a full bus across and the bridge collapsed. So
my heart is racing thinking about that.
Yeah, so it starts our trip to Jaco and our adventure crossing this bridge with the crocodiles.
Oh my God. I hope that since then they've actually refurbished this bridge.
I
and
assume
put some
so.
rail suspension.
I assume so. At this
crazy.
time, the roads were very suspect, but hopefully they have definitely improved.
Oh my God. Okay.
I do know sometimes, they have missing people, so who knows what happens. So hopefully it's not the crocodiles.
Group.
Yes, stay in your group. Stay away from the crocodile bridges.
Yes.
So we get to the, it's like a condo, townhouse type room. Mm-hmm. We get there, it's on the beach. We got a pool right there in front of it. Nice setup. Put our luggage up. We, have a room. And then, so we each had a different room when we got there originally. But I ended up having to share one room with the driver. So I had my bed here, and then the driver had his bed. It was just like two twins in the room, and then the gentleman who was the investor, he got the master suite with all the privacy, which I get it. He has the money,
fine.
So he gets it. So,
but you're sharing the room. Did you even know the investor?
I did know the investor. I did not know the driver.
I was saying you're sharing a room with a stranger that's
yes, well,
bilingual in Costa Rica.
For sure.
Were you nervous about doing that first?
A little bit, but I mean...
Keep your pocket knife handy.
Yeah, we had gotten referred to him from another gentleman that we had met that had previously gone there, so...
He had good references.
So he did have one good reference. So we left it at that. We had the trust factor there. And then, so what ends up happening is we go out for the night, find this beach bar, have fun. I met a lady, started talking with her. She had some friends. We started hanging out. We were clicking. And so ended up just kind of like bar hopping along the beach with her. And then, so they said they would get me back to the condo. They knew where it was at. Yeah. So I was like, okay, another leap of faith. I'll hang out with them. Hopefully make it back to the condo. And then, so the investor and the driver, they went off and said they were going to try out some other places as well. And I said, okay, we'll just connect back at the end of the night. Yeah. So we go, we have fun, bar hop, enjoy ourselves. We get back. I don't even know what time it is. It's late, midnight, 1 a.m. Get back to the condo. And like I was gonna come in, with the girl I was talking to. We're just gonna hang out a little bit. And I get back to the condo and the door is cracked. So at first I'm like, oh no, like maybe we got robbed. And I wasn't sure if the investor had made it back, if the driver had made it back yet or not. I didn't see their car at the moment. And so like I kind of peeked in, and when I peeked in,
oh my God,
the champagne we had gotten for the lady who let us, stay there was spilled all over the floor.
Oh my God, so somebody did break in. They had some, right?
Well, to come to find out, so then a little nervous, peek in, and then I see clothes all over the floor. And so
this is a girl that you're thinking I'd like to at least try to kiss her.
Yes, the first
at these
date.
Late hours,
yes.
Late buzzed from drinking hours, and she's just kind of freaking out too. I know that changed the tone.
It changed the tone total, and then I was like, well, maybe I was like, and then my thought changed from robbery to okay, the investor may have gotten into a little bit more wilder night than I expected. So
okay, because you didn't. So was it a big condo?
I mean, it was just like a 2-bedroom.
So you could have walked the floor and realized no one's in. Nobody's in the closet.
There was nobody when I had seen the.
There's no balcony for someone to stand out there, surprise you, watching you.
It was an open living and kitchen area, so the only places that I couldn't see were the bedrooms.
And so you went into the bedrooms, and the investor wasn't in there.
Well, so you walk in and you walk into the living area, and that's where the clothes were on the floor, and then there was the bottle of champagne just spilled all over the floor. And so and then there were some clothes on the couch, and then I'm just like,
that's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, so
he must have been there.
Well, so then I go to my room, and when I go to my room, and I had my bed, and the driver had his bed. He was in my bed, and then there was another girl with him that he had met in the room.
So they were in your bed.
Yes.
So obviously he was out of his mind and he didn't remember which room was his.
Well, we were sharing a room, but they were
bed or the king size?
No, these were two twins. So he was.
Oh, the driver. I'm sorry, the driver.
The driver
yes. Now I get it. Okay, he was sharing your room. He was in your bed.
He was in my bed, and then there was another girl.
He hadn't slept in the bed yet, so it didn't really matter. He just took that bed, but he had a girl with him.
He had a girl with him, and so she had been laying part-time in the other bed. And so there was no free bed.
Was there evidence of hookup?
Yes, plenty of evidence.
So he got lucky.
Yeah, he got lucky.
You're like, well, I don't want to get on the couch. This is really awkward. And you couldn't even drink the champagne because it was already spilled. All of it was gone.
Yeah, it was totally gone. And it wasn't even for us. It was for the
I know, but you couldn't have even salvaged some because it was already open.
I mean, it's less I wanted to lick the floor. So.
But there wasn't any in the bottle that was lying.
I mean, it was literally on its
pour
side.
A little bit out.
I didn't get to that point to investigate, but so then I'm like, oh my gosh, where's
I bet the girl that was with you, I mean,
she was freaked out.
She was looking over your shoulder the whole time.
Yes, she was behind me. And then I walk out, and then the investor must have heard me, and he walks out of his room
to
full Monty.
This. Oh, God.
And then he's with like a 20-year-old. And
so then, everybody got lucky but you.
I did not. And then I was so freaked out. The lady I was with, she went back to her place. I didn't want to touch anything. I was just kind of grossed out.
Well, you're probably like, I guess I'm sleeping on the couch, but obviously
there was stuff on the couch.
There's evidence of makeout on the couch.
For sure.
And maybe that's where things happened.
That's where I think it's where it started, because clothes were there, champagne was tipped over.
We've all done that.
Yes, no, I get it. But I'm in an unfamiliar area with brand new people. So I literally slept on the beach chair by the pool for the night with a beach towel.
Oh, well, the weather hopefully was decent.
It was nice, but I was mosquito.
I was going to ask you. That is messed up. That's jacked up, dude.
Yeah, so it was a good date, but it finished not as
so the way I expected. So you're having a nice time meeting her and drinking, thinking, oh, that's actually pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
But that would be stressful and then disappointing after you realize I don't even get a bed, and there's already someone that already, we don't even know which bed he had sex in.
No, I don't know. I
in
just
our
know
room,
yes.
in the 2 beds.
The 2 beds were occupied.
I would be
know
willing
which
to
one.
bet that he fooled around in his bed and then he's laying in yours.
Possibly. The
'Cause
next
maybe there's-
morning, he
oh.
said he was regretting the whole situation, but I was in shock still.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's actually a really good story, but that sucks for you.
Yes, it was
you
a
did
very
not get
sleepless
lucky.
night. I did not get lucky, and I
And you got
went
mosquito
without
bites.
sleep, and I had mosquito bites all over.
So when you left the room, did you walk in or you just peeked in and you could see both beds were occupied? And then you left and then you're like, oh my God, I bet the girl was like...
I fully went in and then turned on the light, and then they were startled. So...
Oh
and
my
then
God.
I hightailed it out. I didn't even get into any conversation.
You just left. Oh my gosh.
Not till the next morning did we talk.
And then they're like, dude, I'm sorry. You had to sleep by the pool. And you're probably like, why didn't you sleep on the couch? You're like, duh, I know what happened on that couch.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah.
That's like a college scene.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That doesn't even look like almost even high school, but definitely college. That's like a college thing.
Yeah, it for sure was. I mean, it was something, made me think I was
And then you
going
felt
back in
uncomfortable. You're like,
time.
I just wanted to have another drink, maybe kiss a little bit, maybe get to first base. Not trying to go all the way on every piece of furniture in the condo and screw up the bottle of champagne that we were going to give to the host.
Yeah, the whole place had looked like it had gotten hit by
Y'all just went
hurricane.
wild. I mean, y'all showed up on foreign ground going, woo!
Yeah, we were a very diverse group. We had a retired...
And that driver knows better. He lives there.
Yeah, he was like a 20-year-old
on.
driver, fresh out of school. And then we had the investor who was in his mid-70s. And you had me who was
Now I have a
probably
question.
a little naive.
The driver, did he come from California?
No, he was a
came from-
local.
Well, where the hell's his place? Doesn't he live somewhere locally?
He lives somewhere in San Jose, which was the main city, but we were out of
Not
Hocko
near-
at the beach.
So he just
So
crashed
we were several
there.
hours away.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, dude. Go to your place.
Yeah, no, we were hours away from the big city.
Well, he was younger than you, so
Yes.
he obviously
He was in
didn't know the courtesies. He didn't
No,
know
I
the
don't
guy
think
code.
so.
That was against guy code all day long.
I
right?
think he was like,
You
this
should
is
have
a
done the deed on the couch and
opportunity,
finished the
yeah.
job on the couch.
Sure.
And put a blanket down or something, right? And
Yeah.
touch the blanket, and then go to bed.
For
Don't
sure.
Take up all the beds.
Yeah, it looked like they didn't hold back. So that was
That's hilarious. Well, that's a really good story. I'm sorry that you didn't get to do what you had planned to do, but at least you didn't. Maybe there was a problem there. Maybe there was more.
yeah, maybe it saved me from something.
It saved you from something.
Yeah.
So, well, cheers for sharing your story.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
being
for
on the
sure.
show.
Salute, as they say in Costa Rica.
Yes. And stay tuned for more Good Dates Gone Bad.